All right, I am Jill from Travels by Jill, and thank you for finding my channel. Be sure to like and subscribe so that you can see more of my content that I'll be uploading, especially about this amazing resort, Keyonna Beach Resort, here in Antigua. My husband and I have just spent our 25th wedding anniversary here, and as a travel advisor for 15 years plus now, I scoured the whole Caribbean looking for the perfect destination for us and for what we were looking for in a resort. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the review so that you know the details of Keyonna Beach Resort and you can figure out if this is a destination for you and your loved one. The overall vibe of Keyonna Beach Resort here in Antigua is one of quiet, of luxury, rustic. It's all inclusive. You are not going to hear a lot of people. You might see some people walking up and down the beach occasionally, but pretty much you are here for your privacy and to be alone with the ones you love. It is a couples primarily resort, but we have seen a grandmother and a daughter here, and we have seen pretty much that was it. Most everybody else was couples. I did see a single lady here. So it's not like they enforce that at all, but it is adult only and it is all inclusive. Okay, so activities and overall vibe. Let's just say there are no foam parties at this resort. You're not going to have a microphone with a speaker of people announcing games. They're not trying to get everybody join in and play games together. If you want that, go to Sandals Down the Beach or another one of the larger resorts. But this is, they have a book library, a lending library where you can, everything's on the honor system here too, which is, I just love that. There's really no checkout or anything. You want a book, you take a book and then you put it back if you want, or you can take it. They have lots of books, take a book, leave a book kind of thing. They have a huge Scrabble board that we saw many couples playing with. There are darts. I did see a checkers and chess set, just quiet games and games that you can play as a couple. Those are available. You can get snorkeling gear and you can kayak here. And that's, again, just go take it or go. I think you have to sign out for a kayak, but you just put your name on a sheet of paper that's right there by the grill. So there's a little gift shop where you can get bags or t-shirts or little souvenirs, but also they have some toiletries that you may have forgotten. And there's nobody in the gift shop. You just sign your name and your cottage number and the items that you got, and they'll just add it to your bill. So it's very much on the honor system, and I absolutely love that about this resort. They're not trying to watch over your shoulder. Everybody just trusts everybody. You will look around, and the grounds are just covered in this beautiful foliage. It looks just like natural Antigua. You're not going to see a lot of tall buildings. You're actually not going to see very many buildings at all. We mostly walk on the beach, which I can't tell you how many times that my husband and I have been out on the beach and we've looked as far left as we can see and also as far right as we can see, and we're still the only people on the beach. It's seclusion at its best. Yes, there are other people here at this resort, but everybody's just sort of doing their own quiet thing. But the grounds are immaculately kept, beautiful flowers everywhere. You're going to see hermit crabs walking around. You're going to see these yellow-breasted little bitty birds that remind me of hummingbirds, but a little bit heavier body. We have also seen hummingbirds, blackbirds. It's just right here in the middle of nature, and that's what Keyonna Beach is going for. Let's talk now about my favorite part of the resort, which is the staff. The staff could not be more amazing. This is a boutique resort, so by the time you leave here, everybody knows your name. They don't have to ask you what cottage you're in anymore. It's unlike any other all-inclusive resort I have ever been to. Denisha was the one who met us right and checked us in right when we got here. She gave us our room tour, and I videoed her room tour and put it on TikTok, and it has gone viral since we've been here because she's just so precious, and everybody has fallen in love with Denisha. So go check out that TikTok. I also put it on my YouTube channel as well, so you'll see how beautiful she is as a person. But that's all of the Antiguans that we have seen. We did a city tour, with an island tour with Craig, Get There Taxi, and I will link his content below. He was amazing. We had a local expat photographer come and do some photos for us on our actual 25th wedding anniversary, and Steph was incredible. I will put her information down below as well. Everyone from Stephen, the security guard on the beach, making sure we're safe, to Ami and Deshawn, our beach service men who literally check on us every 30 minutes. We can be laying in our private beach cabana over there, right over my shoulder in those trees, and they'll just bring us our pina coladas because they know that's what they love. That's what we love. They will provide all the drinks you want. They'll provide food from the grill if you get hungry. So really, you don't even need to leave your private areas if you don't want to, because Ami and Deshawn have taken care of us. Then we have our servers in the restaurant, which is a phenomenal restaurant. I'll talk more about that later. But I have to shout out Maria and Jerry Lee, and so many others. They're all so amazing. The managers will come around and greet you and get to know you and make sure that everything is okay. So I cannot talk more about the service. Housekeeping, her name, I forgot to write down. So I'm gonna need to remember that because my husband saw her a few times because he was up here when she was here, and she's incredible too. And on our anniversary, she left flowers, flower petals, not rose petals. It was a different kind of pink flower. And she spelled out happy anniversary and then made like some swans out of the towels for us. Just so precious. The staff could not have been more amazing. The service is top notch. I've been to many 5-star all-inclusive resorts, and this is definitely 5-star service and staff. And here is where I have our housekeeper's name. Her name is Julene. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned her because she was great. There may have been other ladies during our stay, but we saw her 2 or 3 of the days that we were here. And we didn't see the ladies on the other day, if it wasn't Julene. And she did the flowers for our anniversary, always kept everything looking, every time we come in, it looks like we just got here. Our room is so beautiful. And the groundskeeping, they take care of the grounds every day. You'll find people occasionally coming to check the pool or to clean the pool. They'll bring fresh towels out to your bali bed, and there's a sheet, kind of a blanket sheet that's over the bali bed that's changed out with each guest, or as the sheet gets dirty or sandy, And so they'll take care of that every morning. But again, the groundskeeping, the housekeeping, and the main staff in general, everyone is just so sweet and kind, and they do a great job at their job. Now let's talk about the food. The food is phenomenal. I know we have a Chef Hensley Price and a Chef Faye Lewis. I'm sure there were others. I just didn't get their names, but I cannot tell you. This is some of the best food we've ever had at an all-inclusive resort, and everything we put in our mouth over the last 6 days has been impeccable, from breakfast to lunch to dinner. Now, we didn't always go to the sit-down breakfast, and we didn't always go to the sit-down lunch, but we always went to the sit-down dinner, including an additional candlelight dinner on the beach, and the food was impeccable. Top-notch, 5-star quality here at this little boutique hotel in Antigua. If you are looking for good food, this is the place to come. Top food, top service, hands down Keyonna Beach Resort in Antigua. One thing about their food, they have one restaurant, and then they also have a grill, which you can get, and that's open during lunchtime with like Jamaican beef patties and pork wraps and hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that. And that's fantastic. But their restaurant is a sit-down restaurant, and it is open breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it has a set menu. Breakfast and lunch, the menu is pretty much the same each day. You can order as much as you want, whatever you want, and everything that we've eaten has been phenomenal there. Dinner changes nightly, and there's one restaurant. And so you will have a choice of 3 or 4 appetizers, 3 or 4 entrees, and then a couple of desserts. And if you want 3 of those, you're welcome to have them. There's a good range of food that is offered, usually a seafood, usually a chicken, and usually a vegetable dish. You'll have some with curry, some with a Caribbean Jamaican kind of spice, pastas, always some fish of some sort. And then they also have specials every night that aren't on the menu that you'll be told when you sit down. Trust me when I say you will not go hungry at this resort. We've been to many, many resorts where there are 18 plus restaurants at the resorts for you to choose from. And so I wasn't sure what to expect with only one restaurant, but I cannot have been more surprised. And just the fact that you don't have to decide where you're going to eat tonight. You don't have to make dinner reservations. When you come, you will be seated. And if you want to sit by the beach, by the little table that's overlooking the water, just come a little early or maybe wait a little bit. But we've never saw anyone waiting. You can have a drink at the bar. It's all open, so you can see everything. You can see all the tables, you can see all the guests eating, but yet it's spacious enough that you still feel private and secluded. There was never a wait. They were always ready to seat us as soon as we got there, and the food just cannot be raved about enough. You have to give it a try, and trust me when I say it's some of the best food we've ever eaten. So one of the extras that you can add to your resort stay is the candlelight dinner on the beach. And we did that on the night of our 25th wedding anniversary. And I was afraid it would be cheesy, or I was afraid it would be interrupted by a bunch of people walking by. We sat on that beach for 2 hours having a candlelight dinner service with a prearranged menu. The chef got with us about a week beforehand and went over what we would like for the menu. It was 6 or 7 courses. I was completely stuffed, but even the dessert right there at the end when you're already stuffed was incredible. So of course you force yourself to eat a little bit more. And so it was so beautiful to not have to make decisions that night about what to eat. We sat down and the service started. Maria was our server for that night, and she was the only person we saw for the entire 2 hours on the beach. Nobody even walked by because, like I said, this place is just quiet. And I know that sometimes we walk to the beach for dinner. And if we see somebody having a candlelight dinner on the beach, we're not going to pass them. So I assume that that's what people did for us, just out of respect. We just never saw them. It was a wonderful, wonderful way to spend our 25th wedding anniversary, and I highly recommend it. It was an additional cost of $220 for that dinner. But what an experience, and what a beautiful memory we have. Maria would take our picture as much as she could in the dark, and just sweet, sweet time and sweet memories. And the food, as I said before, top notch. We also ordered a floating canapé basket, which they were able to put in our pool and float it, and it was beautiful. Now, I will say, oh, there's my hubby. He's going to spend some time on the beach. We leave in a little while, in a few hours, so we're trying to soak in as much beach time as we have at the end here. On Monday, we ordered the first basket to come to us on the day after we arrived, our first beach day, and it was a little rainy that day. So when it arrived, we couldn't get into our private pool over here behind me on my left shoulder. And so we ate it under our bali bed. Well, I really wanted the experience of eating the floating basket in the pool, so I ordered another one for yesterday, which is our final day. And the food both times was phenomenal in the basket. It was basically lunch, and then they'll give you champagne or whatever kind of bottle of wine that you want. So the cost depends on the alcohol that you choose to go in the basket. And yesterday both days we didn't want any alcohol, so we just got the basket. But so the price varies with that, so you can check with the resort, but that is a definite sweet option, and I'll post a video here too. So let's talk about tipping. I saw it on a post where somebody had asked if Keyonna Beach requires tipping, and they say, although it is not expected, it is appreciated. And I will say that my husband and I, we always tip. We have certain amounts we tip for dinner. We have certain amounts we tip for lunch and breakfast. And then we tip $1 when the beach service brings us a drink per drink. That's just some things that we have always done. And I really think the staff was just very, very appreciative. I know they were, but I didn't see a lot of people tipping. And I don't know, I just feel like you tip for good service. Yes, it's an all-inclusive resort, but I mean, these people are working really hard to serve you, and a tip universally is appreciated for good service. And this is some of the best service that we've ever experienced. So in my opinion, it's always nice to tip, bring some small bills, add it up, and if you want to contact me about different pricing of what we tip, I'm happy to do that. As a travel advisor, that's what I do, is I give suggestions to my clients on, hey, here's how much extra cash I would bring. US dollars is fine. No one ever minds that, whether you're in Mexico or Jamaica or Antigua or wherever you might be. US dollars are fine to tip in. So if you're an American, it doesn't mean you have to go exchange money or anything, but just grab a couple of hundred in small bills so that you can tip your driver and you can tip your wait staff, because they work hard. And we live many times when we go to these luxury resorts, we forget how the local people do live. And so we need to remember that, and remember that most of us are a lot better off in our financial situation. And so let's share the love with those around us that have been serving us so diligently. The room. I love the room. My husband and I lived overseas in Malawi in southeastern Africa for about 4 years. And it was a British protectorate for a long time. So there are a lot of what we see here in these rooms that remind us of European style rooms. There is a rustic look. It's hardwood floors, hardwood ceilings. The light switches are on the outside of the rooms that you're walking into to turn the light on, which is something we had to retrain our mind to get back to. Just little things like that we noticed because we lived in a different part of the world for a time. And so it really felt like home for us. Mosquito nets on the bed, and they do have mosquitoes here. And I saw a lot of people saying, I researched this for about a year. I'm a travel agent. That's what I do. So I researched this place and I never saw any bad reviews. The only negative things I ever saw about this resort was that as the sun goes down about 5:30, you got to spray off on. And they provide that because the mosquitoes will bite, or there's little sand fleas. I never noticed that the sand fleas bit me. I am the type of person that if a mosquito is within 1 mile, it's going to find me and it's going to bite me. And it's going to hurt me for about 20 minutes. I welt up. And I don't think I ever got bit here. They do mosquito control, and they do fog with environmentally friendly, is what they say, fogging about 4 times a week. And you'll hear the fogger go around. And so we just go inside for a minute. But all resorts do that. Anywhere you go in the Caribbean, that's what they're going to be doing, or in Mexico, is trying to keep the mosquitoes away because it's a tropical environment and you're living on an island. And so you're going to have little mosquitoes and everything. The mosquitoes are tiny. They never bothered us, but they do provide a mosquito net for you to put down at night so that you can sleep without getting mosquitoes in your bed area. Again, we never had a problem. I brought all kinds of things because I just knew I didn't want to be miserable with the mosquito bites that I get, because I'm from Mississippi. I get some mosquito bites. I get it. And so I was like uber prepared, and I didn't need half the stuff that I brought. So, but back to the room, it is a rustic feel. You do have your outdoor showers, which I love. But other than that, in the bathroom, it's just a toilet and a sink, 2 sinks with a long counter. Not a lot going on in the room. There's a bed, there's a dresser, there's a little serving table where you have your coffee, and they'll provide you with 2 bottles of liquor, and then you have a mini fridge and they'll ask you what you want in it, and then there's a little desk. But the room is minimal. This resort is mostly for the outside, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. And so as we're wrapping up, I saved the best for last, because the outside private areas of this resort are what sold Keyonna Beach to me. We have right over here, and I'll show pictures here in a minute instead of spinning my camera, but right over here to the left is our door to our bedroom. And right there is a hammock, which has been slept in many times over this week, and 2 sitting chairs, lounge chair kind of things that have a little table between them, just right outside your door under a covered patio. And then behind me, you see 2 pool loungers with your own private infinity pool, with great steps going into. I've been in that pool many, many times. It's a little on the chilly side, but it's the beginning of March here. I expected it to be a lot colder. So I know that as the weather warms up, it's going to be a lot warmer, but I loved it. Like, that's what I expect a pool to be. So it wasn't too cold at all for me to get into. It was actually at times warmer than the water in the beach. And then right back, there it is, right back there over my right shoulder is your private beach cabana, your Bali bed. And it is right there on the beach. And you also have down there your own private beach lounge chairs with nice, huge wooden, heavy lounge chairs with very thick padding cushions on them as well. So you can be in the shade or you can be in the sun or a mixture of both. All of that is your outside area, plus the private double outdoor showers. It's just heaven on earth. Like, why would you want to even leave your room? The water in the ocean is just I cannot describe the color of blue/green that it is. It's simply beautiful. I've never seen a color of water like this. You can see I am 5'6". I was in way over my head and I could still see well to the bottom and see the sand on the bottom. It is the most clear water and I've been to many, many tropical destinations. It is the most clear water. There are a few little waves right now. You might can hear them over my shoulder. But once you get out past just the little break the break is right there on the beach. There are no waves out in the water itself. Just great for snorkeling. There's a little rocky area right down here that you'll see sometimes. They'll do excursions for cruise ships and they'll bring them way down there to go snorkeling and have a little bit of beach time. It never bothers us. People might walk by if they want to explore the beach, just walk up and down the beach. But for the most part, they stay down in their little cove over there and snorkel and enjoy their beach. But it's neat to see the ships go by back and forth and know that we're those people on the beach that they wish they could be. So it's just wonderful. The beach, like I said, you can walk as far as you want on both ways, and sometimes you wouldn't even pass anybody. Very calm water, crystal clear blue water. And when you have all of this set up here at Keyonna Beach, why would you at all? Oh, I learned yesterday we actually have a pool here. I was here for 4 days and I was like, I didn't know there was a pool here because I have my own private pool. So there is a pool here though, just so you know. And with a few beach chairs around it, but it wasn't, I don't know that many people even use it because they have their own setup and pretty much this is a beach resort too. So I will talk next about some of the activities that we did. Okay, so we did do, like I mentioned earlier, a 3.5 hour island tour with Craig Get Their Lake. That's his name on Facebook, Craig Get Their Lake, and then it's Get Their Lake, Get Their Taxi, I think, on TikTok. But he's phenomenal, and he tailor-made the tour to what we were interested in. We stopped and saw Elaine at her roadside store, and she showed me all the fruit in her yard and how she uses the fruit to make the juices and the jams that she sells at her roadside store. So that was a super sweet experience. Look for that video on the channel too. And then we stopped at an art gallery and we got to meet Sally. And she's been here since the 80s and she's a local artisan and she sells her own art, but also other people's art in the gallery from not only out of Antigua, but also other places in the Caribbean. So that was a really sweet experience. And then we got to see some of the touristy spots. We got to go to the yacht club. We got to go to Shirley Heights. We got to go to Nelson's Dockyard. And I will post a video about all of that. But Craig was a great tour guide, and I highly recommend him. Other than that, we did pictures on the beach, like I mentioned before. with Steph, and she was phenomenal. She waited for the sunset and was just very patient with us, and it was neat to get some pictures. And I kept reminding my husband that, hey, at least 25 years ago, I had you in a tuxedo and taking pictures in front of hundreds of people. So, it's better to do it this way than have to do all that again. Okay, so the ideal client for Keyonna Beach Resort, and I sort of touched on this at the beginning. I would say couples and definitely adult only. That's not an option, but couples and couples who want to be alone, who aren't interested in everybody getting to know everybody, and who aren't looking for like a good party time. This is your quiet, laid back, you might go a whole day without seeing someone if you choose to kind of resort. Except you're a pool service guy, you're a beach service guy. You're definitely going to want to see him. Yeah, there were lots of European accents around here, a few American accents, but definitely I would say couples only and couples who aren't looking for a lot to do. Now, is there a lot to do on the resort? On the island? Yes, and I'm going to talk about that next or in a minute. But as far as on the resort, the things that I mentioned in the last little bit about board games and kayaks and snorkeling, other than that, lay on the beach, walk around, lay by your private infinity pool. Everything's about privacy and seclusion and just being with your loved one. Overall, I could not be more pleased with the experience that we've had here at Keyonna Beach. I cannot wait to return. There's definitely a certain type of client who would love this place, and there's definitely a certain type of client who this is not their vibe. And as a travel advisor, it's my job to find the perfect fit for my clients. As I said, I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I would love to help you. So if you are in the need for any travel, international travel destinations, I love to work with my clients and help them to find the perfect destination for themselves and their loved ones, whether it be family, multi-generational, group travel, or couples. I'm your girl, so like and subscribe to this channel, please. And also you can go to my website at travelsbyjill.com and fill out a questionnaire and we can get started. I hope you've enjoyed this review and there will be more to come.